I'll try to tell you a little about how I'm working and how we're doing in Denmark about sustainable energy, both about our visions in Denmark and how we're doing it on the ground level. My name is Henning Rasmussen. I'm a board member of the organization Sustainable Energy. If you wanted these slides, Lili has these slides, so you don't have to write them down. You probably can have Erica's too, if you like. Sustainable Energy is an organization, and we are proud to say that we are very next to the customer. We are working with the people, the user, very closely, and we are independent, so they come to us and ask, what can I do? They can phone us for free and we'll advise them what they can do. And in that way, the companies come to us and say, what do they want, the users? Because they don't understand the users, they're not close to them. So we work for 100% sustainable energy. We are advising and make consulting about wind energy, wave power, solar cells, solar heating and biomass and so on. In Denmark we make this information, and we also work globally with sustainable energy in Mali, Mozambique, Kenya and Vietnam. We think that energy ought to be owned by the people, the customer, not the government or the state. The consumer can also be the producer. You can produce energy at your houses. In Denmark, you can, when you build new houses, you make your own energy from the heat you produce and the sun, and you can have solar cells and other kind of power heats. So you don't need any external electricity and power heating. As we say, tax on the burner, not the earner. And we also have this Inforce, our international network, who works internationally, and they want to phase out fossil fuel and nuclear power, and to provide everybody with basic energy needs, so that everybody can have the basic needs. We have this T-shirt, you maybe have seen it before, nuclear, no thanks. It's quite a big hit in Denmark. It sells a lot of it. You have seen it here in Lithuania too, I think. Even a small country can make a change. Denmark is very small, and we have a lot of sustainable energy in Denmark. We are the biggest country, we have the biggest company in Denmark, in the world, that produce wind energy. Though we're very small, we're just a little bit bigger than Lithuania. And it's because of the political commitment. They want the green country, and they want green investments. But also the civil society wants it. They are very involved, and they are asking, the government asking people in Denmark if they want to participate, and that means a lot to Danes. Because doing good feels good. So walk the talk, as we say. It's not just money. It's not just intellectual figures and so on. It feels good to be doing good. I have solar cells on my roof, and I have solar heating at my roof too. No, I'm feeling good. I'm doing something for it, and I also have a car. I'm not a saint, but doing something, it feels good. And I think we should talk more about how it feels to be doing good and doing this for the environment. So everybody can make a change. Also, you can make a change. And that's important to know, that just a little change is good. And it's easier to talk about sustainable energy if you do something yourself. It's not just the government, it's not the other countries, it's not your neighbor, it's you that starts. This is a city close where I live. They have almost 100% renewable energy in the houses, You can see solar heating, solar cells, and a lot of other things. It's possible to live this way. The Danish energy compromise is about just a new one that is made. By 2020 we have 49.5% wind power in Denmark, and the reduction is 34% in 2020 because of the increased energy efficiency by the power companies, which have to reduce their energy. And there's a lot of support to renewables and efficiencies in companies. We also work with company social, what do you call it? Corporate social responsibility is, and this way the company has to do marketing on doing good, and that's very important for most customers. And if you sell things, the company has to be doing good. You can do it in human rights, but you can also do it in the environmental. And we're working with companies on this topic. They've increased the tariffs on biogas. We built big wind power mills, 1,000 million watts, and offshore, onshore. New taxes on energy, but less on households' energy cost. So we try to change the way the system is working in Denmark. The smart grid is working very well in Denmark, which means that you can use your energy in the night. If you wash in the night, you can put your washing machine on and tell it to wash when you're sleeping, because when you're sleeping, the company doesn't use energy. So the energy is easier and cheaper in the night than in the daytime. So if you can move your use of energy, it will be cheaper for the community. Yes, as we saw at Erika's slide, transportation is very difficult. It's really a losers game to try to make reduction in transportation. It's really a Achilles heel in Denmark too, and always increases in energy. So we had to develop new collective traffic systems. When you use a bus instead of your car, you only use 1/3 of the energy, which is good for the pollution. And on this, in the transport market, you have to build or develop new technologies. That's very important. It's very difficult to get people out of the cars. I saw on television last night in the USA, people are running out of jobs because of the crisis, and they don't sell the cars over there. They sell their houses, and then they live in the cars. I mean, we wouldn't do that in Denmark, but it just shows how difficult it is to get out of the cars. Everybody loves the cars. Another one I'll show you here is diet is a taboo, which food is never mentioned in this context. If you is a conventional meat eater, you can, in Denmark, we do eat a lot of meat in Denmark, as you said. You can, if you go from a conventional meat eater to a organic vegetarian, you can run in your car about 4,000 kilometers a year, and still doing less pollution. So if everybody in Denmark was organic vegetarians, we would almost not use anything else than sustainable energy. It's a lot in this way. And two, it takes a lot of water too. Water is a problem in most of the world, and it's always also be a problem in Denmark and in Europe. Clean water is very seldom, and it's hard to find. So if you produce 1 kilo of food of beef, you'll use 10 as much water. So I don't say that you should be a vegetarian, but you can eat less meat, and it will help the society a lot. This is one thing that everybody can do. It's cheap, and you'll be better off healthfully. You'll be healthy also. But it's a taboo where nobody speaks about it. I think it's very important to speak about it. This is how it could look, how the energy system could be if you get water power and wind power and so on and solar power. We think that reductions should be made first in the industrialized countries. You can see how much the carbon capital is, and Estonia is very high, Denmark is high too, Europe is in the middle, and Lithuania, I've heard it's between Europe and China. But the thing is that Denmark is a very little country, but if you see China is very big. There's almost 1 billion people in China. If they just use a little bit more, it'll fill a lot in the world. But of course we should start with the industrialized countries. We have a sustainable energy vision in Europe too. We want smarter power stations, rapid development of renewable energies. We should phase out nuclear until 2025, and no major imports-exports from the EU. The developing countries use their own energy; they can use it. This is a vision from Inforce, and the renewable energy supply in EU is. We think it should go this way. Solar heat, I think, it will be much bigger than in Europe, and it's shown here. It's growing a lot in Denmark and in Germany. But this is how it could be in 2040. This is how it should be in 2040. Nuclear and fossil energy should run out and be exchanged with sustainable energy. The primary energy for Inforce is shown here. I'll not go into details with, but it shows how it could be. We have to make a lot of reductions, efficiencies in Europe, and put our money into sustainable energy.